avenues here. Someone asked, to what extent are federal grant programs, in this case specifically the Justice Department, requiring recipients to measure and report performance, specifically for the juvenile justice programs?
Well, they are, of course, but as I said earlier, every state measures, for instance, recidivism differently. And so, it's a bit problematic. And, just reducing your youth in the system can be complicated. We talked to one state, the agency head that talked about the fact that youth in the facilities were counted, and who had been recommended from the court system, but youth into the system from their parents or a friend or otherwise were not counted in the system. So there are problems with counting that go on that can be murky for comparability across all programs nationwide. That's not to say that, of course, there needs to be accountability of programming when you're receiving grant funds, and it's a continual push and pull to get those numbers. And those we talk to, we're constantly working on their numbers because and their metrics, because they let us know in no uncertain terms if we lose our position as trustworthy in terms of providing reliable and valid data, we will get nowhere. And at the very least, from a fellow in Wyoming, he said, we must present these performance indicators to keep our funding. It's as important to keep our funding as it is to try to improve our funding or to forestall cutting our budget. So they see the need for it. They want to, they are continually working on these metrics.
Yeah, I think it really depending on the states. Some of the states that we interviewed, I think they would tell us that those performance indicators were written into the contracts, where the grant contract, contracts with contractors. So it's sort of it's there. However, the standards for those measurement, it is negotiable. I think that's, standards needs to be there, measures needs to be there, but the standards is negotiable. It's in the contract, depending on how this is being negotiated. If this is the case of with contractors, if this is a case of a federal grant, they come with some kind of general guideline in terms of performance reporting already. So I would say this is going to be always there, we just all agencies or contractors or recipient of grants will need to think about what are the ways that we can measure the impact of our work.